All right, so this is the third video in this series teaching how to do Python for the Language Research Center. And I wanted to quickly go over, before we actually start writing code, I wanted to go over how we actually write code or where we write code. And so Python files are known as scripts, and their file names usually end in .py, so .py. By default, once you have Python installed, anytime you run a .py file on your computer, it will run using Python. Now, you can write Python scripts in a number of different ways. For example, you can write them in Notepad and then simply just save them as a .py file. But a more common way to write Python scripts is using what's known as an integrated development environment, which is better known as an IDE. So you might have heard me use that term in one of the previous videos. The two most common IDEs that people use, or at least that I've used, are known as IDLE, which I showed you in the first and second video, and I'll show you a little bit more here today. And then also the second one is known as PyCharm. Now, IDLE is the IDE that comes with Python when you install it. So you should already have some experience with that based on the previous videos, but I'll give you a little bit more here today. What I will say is that IDLE is very raw and it offers almost no help for beginners. It doesn't really provide a whole lot of suggestions. It throws errors, but sometimes they can be hard to decipher. So it's very raw. The best analogy I can think of for the IDLE is base R. So not RStudio, but base R, which a lot of people find very difficult to code in. The second one is PyCharm. And PyCharm is much more user-friendly, and it helps you code along the way. It offers suggestions, it underlines things, it color coordinates things better. It allows you to use an autofill. So like if you keep calling on the same object, you can, just like in R, you can hit tab and your options will pop up. And so PyCharm is much more similar to RStudio, where, like I said, IDLE is more similar to like base R. Anyways, so the reason I'm telling you about both of them, PyCharm seems like the best option, right? And I originally used PyCharm when learning because it helped me to like learn where the problems were in my code. But it has a really annoying flaw. And so I don't use PyCharm anymore. Sometimes it messes with your working directories and makes it unable to run your scripts. And I don't know why it does it. People have experienced it all the time, and all of a sudden their script just stops working and their code is fine, but it's because they're running it in PyCharm. And so it just becomes super frustrating when you're trying to learn because you think your script is wrong, but it's really just PyCharm not really working. And so especially if you take your script and it works perfectly on your computer and then you try and run it on a monkey computer, but you're using PyCharm, it can really be messed up for some reason. So I avoid PyCharm, but I will say it has a lot of benefits if you really want to learn how to code because it does have a lot of suggestions. Either way, you can use whichever one you prefer. I'm not going to show you how to install PyCharm. I'll go over it a little bit here in a second, but I'll post a video that you can watch, and that'll show you how to install PyCharm and maybe even use it a little bit. But like I said, I don't want to even put it on my computer because I hate that it messes with my working directories and it gets super frustrating. But it is very helpful when you're learning. So take that as you wish. So we'll go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and just share first about PyCharm, and then I'll go back and show you IDLE. All right, so if you do want PyCharm, once again, you can just follow the video, but you can also go here to Google and just Google PyCharm. It should be the first thing that comes up. It's jetbrains.com. I don't know why it's called that. But you see it's the Python IDE for professional developers, yada, yada, yada. So you can go ahead and click here. It should bring you to a website that looks like this. PyCharm, this is PyCharm's logo. Sure, whatever. Do not click this. So there is a paid version of PyCharm and there's a community free version. I don't know what is included in all this, but you don't want to pay for it. You don't need to. So just keep scrolling down. Or maybe I do need to click that. Okay, yes, I do need to click it. So do click that button. Do not click this button. So we do not want the professional one, right? We want to scroll down to the community edition, which is free. You just hit the download, right? It should pop up. And you can follow the rest of the video. See, it's downloading up here. And you can follow the rest of the video. I'm not going to put it on my computer, but you can follow the rest of the video that I post below if you really want to use PyCharm. It is really useful. Let me see if I can show you like just like an image of like what it looks like and how it's super helpful. Maybe not. Yeah, well, probably right. So here, you can see how it gives you line numbers. It allows you to have multiple scripts open at any time. Yes, I agree. And it gives you you can hit tab and it gives you certain suggestions of functions or objects to call. And that's not true in IDLE. So IDLE, you're just straight up coding. It doesn't give you any suggestions. It doesn't underline things in the same way that it does in PyCharm. So it is really helpful. I find it kind of annoying to use. All right, so next let me show you how to use IDLE. So if you don't want to mess with PyCharm and you just want to go with IDLE, you can hit your start button and go ahead and type IDLE and open up IDLE just by double clicking it. It should pop up here, right? And so this is what IDLE looks like. As you can see, it is very basic. There's not a whole lot in here, but you can call things. So you can do, like I said, print hi, and it'll print hi for you, right? So super basic. But if we want to do something that's like more of a monkey program that we can then code all these lines of code and then run, what you're going to want to do is hit File and then hit New File, and you'll get this script called Untitled. Right, and then so you can save this. I recommend saving these Python scripts somewhere near where Python is saved. So in this case, I'm saving it in the user folder, and I actually make a folder inside here. It's called Python scripts, and I just save it here. And so I can call it whatever I want. Maybe this is a hello world.py script and hit save. Right, and so the way I can use IDLE is, let me make this full screen. And let me show you. Go hit options, hit line numbers. So that way now I have line numbers, so I can add all these line numbers down here. And then what I can do is this is where I can type code. So I can say print hello world. And then I can also do another print statement that's like, Griffin is the best monkey, right? And then what I can do is, so now I have two lines of code. I don't have to hit enter in between. And I can hit, first of all, save it, and then hit run module, and sure enough, it will have a Python shell that will print out and run the script. And so this is how you run monkey programs. So this is just a print statement, but essentially I can code an entire monkey program in a script, hit run, and it will run the game on this Python shell. And so that's where we're going to be coding. And so the next video, we're going to actually be hopping into doing coding. And yeah, so go ahead and close out of this, and we'll see you in the next video.